Seeing you, Nia. God bless. Good seeing you. See you, Vivian. Good seeing you, Lori, Kathy. Good seeing everybody. Betty, Power, Lisa. Good seeing everybody. Blue, Jim, Tammy, Ann. Good seeing everybody. Good seeing you, Ashley. Thanks to my mods. Do a great job. Seeing you, Kathy. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. Good seeing you, John. Sorry, James. I've been busy too. Barbara, good seeing you. Good seeing you, James. I understand. We're all busy. Kent, good seeing you. Good seeing everybody. Good seeing you, James. Good seeing you, Ed. Thanks, John. Good seeing you, Ed. Dapple, good seeing you. Carol, good seeing you. Julia, good seeing you. Sorry about that, Dapple. Thomas, good seeing you. Rapture 111, good seeing you. Minnie, good seeing you. Yeah, pray for the people in Oklahoma, Texas, tornadoes. Worm, good seeing you. God bless, James. Yeah, pray for the people in Oklahoma and Texas. Good seeing everybody. Good seeing everybody. Exactly, John. Exactly. Josh, good seeing you. As most, I don't know if you know, all the fires going on over in Israel. This is in the Bible. In the winds, this winds that's going on. Good seeing you, Robin. I just started. Good seeing you. Kay, good seeing everybody. Snack up. Good seeing you. Good seeing everybody. These fires that are going on in the Middle East, they say they're setting these fires. They're setting these fires. This is in the Bible, and it just shows you where we're at in the time frame, and that's why I'm going live. It's in Zechariah 11, the cedars of Lebanon. Here is where the fires are, and this is going to spread to Lebanon, Golan. It's called Bashan right here in the Bible. It's called Bashan. It's in Zechariah right here, 11 and 12, and I'm going to play it all over.
Zechariah 11. Open thy doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour thy cedars. Howl, fir tree, for the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled. Howl, O ye oaks of Bashan, for the forest of the vintage is come down. There is a voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is spoiled, a voice of the roaring of young lions. But the pride of Jordan is spoiled. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be.
As you can see, talks about the slaughter that's going on right now. It's talking about the slaughter that's going on right now. I'll play it again.
Zechariah 11. Open thy doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour thy cedars. Howl, fir tree, for the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled. Howl, O ye oaks of Bashan, for the forest of the vintage is come down. There is a voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is spoiled, a voice of the roaring of young lions. But the pride of Jordan is spoiled. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter,
Slaughter.
whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty.
Slaughter, that's what's going on.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. For I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, saith the Lord, but lo, I will deliver the men every one into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king, and they shall smite the land, and out of their hand I will not deliver them. And I will feed the flock of slaughter, even you, O poor of the flock. And I took unto me 2 staves, the one I called Beauty, and the other I called Bands, and I fed the flock. 3 shepherds also I cut off in 1 month, and my soul loathed them, and their soul also abhorred me. Then said I will not feed you. That dieth, let it die, and that is to be cut off, let it be cut off. And let the rest eat every one the flesh of another. And I took my staff, even Beauty, and cut it asunder, that I might break my covenant which I had made with all the people. And it was broken in that day. And so the poor of the flock that waited upon me knew that it was the word of the Lord. And I said unto them, if ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price that I was prized out of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver, and cast them to like the potter in the house of the Lord. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. And the Lord said unto me, Take unto thee yet the instruments of a foolish shepherd. For lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall seek the young one, nor heal that is broken, nor feed that standeth still. But he shall eat the flesh of the fat, and tear their claws in pieces. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock! The sword shall be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean and dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened.
So this is what's going on right now. The fires talks about the slaughter that's going on in Lebanon and Palestine. The fires devour them. And then in verse 12,
Zechariah 11.
12, this is what happens next.
Zechariah 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, The inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts their God. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheath. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day, that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadad-rimmon in the valley of Megiddon. And the land shall mourn, every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, the family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart.
So, this is Jerusalem. I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone. This is what's going on right now. You can read it for yourself. The reason why I played this, it's Zechariah 11 and 12. Jerusalem, a burdensome stone. And this is when everyone comes against Israel, against Jerusalem, Israel. And this is where we're at. It says right here, all the burden themselves shall be cut to pieces. This is what's coming. We're actually in verse 11. As I said, the fires, this is what's happening. They're setting these fires. There's reports that they're setting these fires. They're burning everything down. That's exactly what's going on right now. This is what we should be watching. We got about roughly 14 days. We got a few days. We should be watching for this. That's why I put this video out. They're evacuating people. Somebody was correct. Thousands of Israelis are evacuating as massive wildfires spread near Jerusalem. The winds are very high. This also reminds me what happened in California, what happened with the high winds. That's what's going on right now. This is Zechariah 11 and 12, as I said. Here's some pictures. Kathy sent me these. Thank you. You can see right here. The high winds, as you can see, the high winds are fueling it. And that's what it says. It says it will be burned. The cedars will be burnt. As you can see right here, this was given to me by Kathy. Thank you very much. It says Palestinian channels are continuously calling for Palestine to continue the arson across Israel, including Haifa and many other cities. This is a declaration of war and should be retaliated against such. So this is exactly what it says in Zechariah right here. It says the fires may devour the cedars. This is exactly what's going on. And with the high winds, everything's going to be laid waste. And that's exactly what it says in Zechariah chapter 12. Right here, he will punish them. It says they're starting these fires against Israel. And I'll play it one more time. This is exactly what's going to happen.
Zechariah 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling.
Good seeing you, Marcia.
People round about.
Good seeing everybody. SB, Carol.
Both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts.
Here's Krista. Good seeing you. Renee, too.
In that day will I make the governors of Judah.
So, this is exactly what it says in Joel. I'll bring all nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat. This is the same thing. It says all people of the earth will gather against it, against Jerusalem, Israel. That's exactly what's going on right now, as I have talked about before. This is where we're at. They're setting the fires, as you can see right here. Thank you, everybody that sent me something. Greatly appreciated. Betty, Lisa, everybody, Tammy, Kathy, John, everybody. So this is what's going on in Damascus also. Damascus, Israel is attacking Damascus right now. Israel is attacking Damascus, as we know, supposed to be laid waste. Kathy's always sending me stuff about this. Thank you very much, Kathy. Damascus, what's going on there? Pretty soon it's going to be a ruinous heap. This is in Damascus. They're kidnapping civilians. They're kidnapping civilians and beheading people, as you can see, and they're calling to be beheaded. That's what they're doing right now. Now I'm going to go to my video. I talked about this in my video. It's about the 777. 7, Jerusalem is a nation. Israel a nation. 77. This is what I was talking about. May 14th, everything's heading towards that. I made this video out here, 77 also is Christ. 77 equals Christ. I put this in my video. Well, I've watched him for a long time. I don't watch all of his videos, but when I saw this, Israel, it was a great video. I do subscribe to him. I've subscribed to him, but as I said, I don't watch all of his videos. But he did a great video, and I'll share it. I shared it on my community post.
I've done videos on this 7 phenomenon associated with Trump. I want to go over that again, bring you up to date. So let's see if I can do this without trying to convince you of anything. Numbers are revealed in prophecy. Prophecy predicts the future. Those are two things that really can't be disputed. Biblical prophecies do contain numbers, and a significant aspect of prophecy is about revealing future events. The relationship between biblical numbers and future prophecy is obvious. Both the literal and the symbolic nature of numbers seem to unite or marry in a sense. The most stark example being we have a literal 6-day creation week followed by a day of rest. And we have that in step with 6,000 years of mankind followed by the 1,000-year kingdom. So there's also layers to this symbolism, but it can go even deeper. Within that mirrored pattern, there exists further meaning. That a work week, generally speaking, is labor followed by a day of rest. So it's multi-layered. Now, why do we have such a thing? Well, why isn't really a mystery, because the very presence of specific numbers in prophecies, especially when they seem to align with larger patterns like the creation week and the millennial kingdom, reveals a deliberate and a meaningful connection. What I'm suggesting is that a purposeful mirroring between the literal and the symbolic nature of numbers in God's plan is something that we see. And the example of the work week, the day of rest, I think that beautifully illustrates this point. The literal structure of our week with its rhythm of labor followed by rest mirrors what we see as a larger spiritual principle or a meaning, I guess you'd say, embedded in the creation narrative and its prophetic implications. I've never been afraid of numbers. They offer biblical numerology courses in Bible college. We're not talking about astrology or anything like that. Talking about biblical numerology. So instead of wondering why they exist, I'm proposing that the why is really inherent in the very design and the structure of God's revelation, where literal numbers and their symbolic counterparts are intentionally interwoven to reveal His purposes across different time scales. I'm suggesting that the symbolic isn't separate from the literal, but it's rather expressed through it. You know, where it creates a cohesive and a meaningful tapestry in God's Word, particularly in how it relates to future prophecy. We're living in a very unique period in all of human history. The numbers themselves become part of the language of prophecy, is what I believe, carrying both a quantitative and a qualitative significance. It's a fascinating perspective on how the literal and the symbolic aspects of numbers intertwine within biblical prophecy to reveal deeper meaning and overarching patterns in God's plan. The question of whether there are numbers is kind of moot, because there are. How we interpret them, that's another question. Now, it appears, hold on fasten your seatbelts here. It appears that President Trump's 77th day in office this year, 2025, was the 1 year anniversary of the April 8, 2024 total solar eclipse. From his first day in office, January 21, 2017, that's his first term, to his first day in office, January 21, 2025, is exactly 8 years. 8 years. From Trump's first full day in office, January 21, 2017, to the 1 year anniversary of the April 8, 2024 solar eclipse, April 8, 2025, is 3,000 days inclusive. Now, when we say inclusive, we mean that we count both the starting and the ending dates as part of the period. Judah, according to rabbinical tradition, was the ancestor of Jesus that came through Jacob and Leah. Scripture actually confirms this. And according to classical rabbinical literature, Judah was born on 15 Sivan, and Donald Trump was born on the exact same day, Sivan 15, which on the Gregorian is June 14. And there are a great number of remarkable number of coincidences relating to Donald Trump, Israel, Putin, and the number 7, as well as the Pentagon, 9/11, other things which could not be human engineered and perfectly fit our time. The time we're going through here. 7 means perfection, completion. That's why our calendar and work rest week is 7 days. Same logic with years. 6,000 years labor, 1,000 years kingdom, 7,000 years from creation to new creation. 8 equals new beginning. Keep that in mind. 8, new beginning. And on Trump's first full day in office in 2017, he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. Trump was first elected, that's his first term, on Netanyahu's 7th year, 7th month, and 7th full day in office. How do you explain that? On 7/7/17, Trump met with Putin for the first time, face to face, when Putin was exactly 777 months old to the day. And that took place in the Hebrew year 5777. Vladimir Putin is exactly 70 years old when Hamas attacked Israel October 7, 2023. Hello. Israel was attacked on Putin's birthday. The number 7 holds deep significance in many religious and spiritual traditions, not just Christianity, often representing completion, perfection, and divine order. And this makes any recurring instances of the number 7 in notable events seem meaningful to those of us who subscribe to this belief. No, I've just given you the tip of the iceberg, the proverbial iceberg. And at some point, folks, they become more than just coincidences. I personally don't think there is such a thing as coincidence. I'll explain that, why that is. But science places immense value on mathematical equations due to their inherent objectivity, Mathematical equations, when correctly formulated and applied, describe relationships, and they predict outcomes in a way that isn't subject to personal opinion or bias. Dearly beloved, the U.S. Embassy opened at its Jerusalem location on May 14, 2018, the 70th anniversary of the creation of the modern state of Israel. Okay? It was relocated from its previous site in Tel Aviv by the Trump administration, and that embassy moved May 14, 2018. This May 2025 will mark 7 years. And it will mark the day Israel turns 77. Hello. Now, folks, that's a precise observation, connecting the dates and the age of modern Israel. That's all it is. It's simple math. The relocation of the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem was a significant policy decision by the Trump administration, which had effects that we're seeing today. The results, ramifications of that. May 14, 2025 will mark 7 years since the embassy's relocation to Jerusalem. 2018 to 2025. Go back to 1948, Israel declares its independence. So, therefore, in 2025, Israel will be celebrating its 77th Gregorian anniversary. So, there is a notable alignment of these anniversaries with the 7th anniversary of the embassy's move to Jerusalem, coinciding with Israel's 77th anniversary of its rebirth. 77 years from the 1947 UN partition of Palestine to 2024. The year Trump is elected to a second term. Okay? Now, during Trump's 77th year of life, Hamas attacks Israel October 7, 2023. They tried to impeach this president, the Senate impeachment trial of Donald Trump. When did it begin? It began on January 21st, 2020, exactly 3 years to the day from his first full day in office, when he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. A series of interesting connections between historical dates, highly significant events, Donald Trump and his impeachment, Vladimir Putin, and variables of the number 7. These alignments across different events and timelines, all involving the number 7 or multiples of it, are certainly striking. On Trump's 700th day in office, December 20, 2018, his Defense Secretary, Jim Mattis, resigns. And he resigns on the day that Israel turned 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. December 21st, 2018. On Trump's 77th day since the election on November 8th, 2016, Israel announced that they would dissolve the parliament, and they're going to hold elections 7 months early on April 9th, 2019. All of these facts are out there. They're not classified. It's not classified information. Now, what if I told you Trump was born 700 days before the founding of Israel on May 1448? So add his birth to the mix. Folks, on his first full day in office, his first term, he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. And then there's the Netanyahu connection. Well, he's a prominent figure in the news today, prophetically. Trump was elected on Prime Minister Netanyahu's 7th year, 7th month, and 7th full day in office. Netanyahu was sworn in just before midnight on March 31st, 2009, and his first full day in office was April 1st, 2009. Folks, these are very specific and detailed date calculations. So we can add Jim Mattis. to the list. And Jim Mattis resigns on the day Israel was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. These numerical alignments are certainly noteworthy. On Trump's 700th day in office, December 20, 2018, his defense secretary, Jim Mattis, resigned on the day that Israel turned 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. Now, what's more interesting is he was due to depart exactly 70 days later on February the 28th, 2019, on Donald Trump's 770th day in office. However, this was brought forward to January 1st, 2019. It just seems that this anomaly didn't leave out the Jewish Knesset. On President Trump's 777th day since the election on November 8, 2016, Israel announces that they will dissolve the parliament and they'll hold elections 7 months early on April 9, 2019. Now you've got Mark Esper. He's sworn in as the new replacement for Mattis, the U.S. Secretary of Defense. So now we have another Secretary of Defense sworn in exactly 7 months to the day that Donald Trump brought forward James Mattis's departure to January 1st, 2019. Folks, this is enough to make your head spin. The consistency and the precision of these numerical links across various significant events are striking. And meticulous research continues to reveal these intricate patterns. I at one time thought the 7 phenomenon had stopped. It didn't. Now, Jerusalem as capital is in this. Donald Trump announced on December 6, 2017, that we, the U.S., would recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. We're going to shift the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and that came 70 years and 7 days after the United Nations approved a resolution which paved the way for the creation of the State of Israel on November 29, 1947. I didn't go looking for these patterns or something, go look for some event to attach that number 7 to. It was just the opposite. Okay. So the embassy moves to Jerusalem on the 70th anniversary of Israel's independence, May 14, 1948. Jerusalem is inextricably tied to the number 70 in the Bible. So it is interesting that the Trump administration decided to open the embassy in Jerusalem on the 70th anniversary of Israel's founding in 1948. 70 appears all through the Bible. "70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy." Many of you are familiar with that passage from Daniel 9:24. Daniel 9, folks, you know. Jewish people held in captivity by the king of Babylon for 70 years. What is going on here? You can't make this stuff up. It's just some kind of hidden code, numerical code. I don't know. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. AD 70, Jerusalem and the Second Temple destroyed by the Romans to put down a Jewish revolt against Roman rule.
Good seeing everybody. I put his video on my community page. He did a great job. I learned some new 7s in here. As I said, I made a video 77. I made a video 77 went live. It was 8 days ago about this 77s. and I went over it. So Trump's the seventh king, as I said before. Trump, as I said, no coincidences that Trump is the seventh king. The seventh king, it goes out. What also is interesting, Trump is going to be in the Middle East. Trump is going to be there. I believe he'll be in Jerusalem. He's going to be in Jerusalem. Trump to visit UAE, amid 3-country tour. He's starting on the 13th. As you can see right here, he's leaving May 13th. He's going to be in Jerusalem. This is also a full moon. He's going to be in Jerusalem, where he declared Jerusalem the capital. I believe he's also going to be there. Could this be the ending of the sevens for him? The seventh king be taken out around this time when he goes to the UAE, and he's going to be in Jerusalem 7 years. Very, very, very interesting, and that's what I'm looking at. We know, as I said before, the full moon for May. It's the 12th right here. We'll see what happens. Some people are saying this is second Passover. As I said before, he's going to be there on a second Passover. He's going to be there right in here on second Passover. The third day of second Passover is right here. The 8th day would be right here, the 20th right here. But as I said, with the situation with the fires going on right now, and they're starting them. Thank you, Kathy, for sending me this. As you can see, they're starting them. The Palestine channels are continuously calling Palestine to continue the arsons across Israel, including Haifa and many major cities. This fire's going on. So I hope everybody's doing well. And yes, he had a great video. I shared it, as I said before. I don't watch all of his videos. I have subscribed to him from the beginning. Blessed Hope Forever. Like I said, I haven't watched all his videos. I don't have enough time in a day to watch everybody's videos, but when I saw him, Israel 77 came up, I looked at it right away, and I did share it. I shared it on both of my channels. So, good seeing everybody. God bless. Keep looking up, and good seeing everybody. And it's a great time to be alive. Good seeing everybody. God bless. Thanks to my mods. You do a great job. Greatly appreciated. God bless.